to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the longest-running Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
We're always in control, and when you say Miami, you're talking to my ball. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Wednesday night, November the 19th. I'm your host, Michael Leva, joined as I am each and every Wednesday by Tom Ernestey. Tom, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing good. We got a bye week this week. This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter show, as with there's no game on Sunday. There's nothing to preview, but I got a few topics to talk about, and we're going to end with a fun one too here, as we're getting close here to the start of the holiday season. So we're going to have some fun in the show, but it'll probably be a little bit shorter than normal. Before we get going, as always, this show is brought to you by Caneswear. Everyone go to the website, caneswear.com, for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. If you need something for Christmas or Hanukkah, or you need something just to spoil yourself, go to caneswear.com. They got stuff for the Dolphins, the Hurricanes, the Panthers, the Heat, the Marlins, all the schools and teams in South Florida. Caneswear.com. If you're in South Florida, swing by their shop at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Tell them Mike from Dolphins Talk sent you. But Caneswear.com. For this Christmas season, this holiday season, go there first. They got the best and most affordable apparel. I want to give a shout out to everyone watching at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page, run by the great Carlos Hernandez. And if you're watching us live right now on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. Smash that little thumbs up right now. Drop us a comment. And also, if you leave us a super chat, since we don't have a ton of topics on tonight's show, we're going to make it might be, if you put up a super chat, it will get shared on the show tonight. Super chats are the best way to support this channel. So leave us a super chat and we will read it on the air at some point during this show. All right, let's get to some news. There's only really two bits of news. Jordan Brooks was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week this week for his 20 tackles against the Washington Commanders. And the Dolphins signed A.J. Green, not that A.J. Green, another A.J. Green, the cornerback off a Rams practice squad to help replace Juju Brents. That's pretty much the only news this week. Kind of a slow news week as they're on a bye. All right, here's what we're going to do next, Tom. They got 6 games left. We're going to predict. We're going to go through the final 6 games and predict which ones are going to win and which ones they are going to lose from here on out. So let's start with the next game after the bye. Home against the Saints. What's your prediction?
They should win that game. I think they win that game.
Tom goes W. I'm going to predict a W2. I think coming off a bye, Saints are a mess. They've kind of quit on the season, and it's at home, so I'm going with a win. Game after that is at the Jets. The Jets made a quarterback change today. They went to Tyrod Taylor. I suspect that might carry over. I suspect. Who's going to win that game between Miami and the Jets there on December 7th, I believe?
I'll go Miami, strictly because they probably will run the ball very well against the Jets.
Okay. I'm actually going with an L. I think this Dolphins team, we're not going to get the team that played versus the first 2 weeks ago when they beat the Bills. I think it's going to be an up and down team. It's on the road. I just could see them coming out laying a stinker. And I could see the Jets treating this like their Super Bowl. Like, you know what? We suck. We ain't, there's one game we're going to show for. Let's beat Miami at home. I got the Jets winning that game.
Okay.
At Pittsburgh, Monday Night Football.
Steelers will win.
You got a loss. I also got a loss. It's probably going to be cold, windy, wet, rainy. I don't see Miami winning that game on the road. Not that Pittsburgh's a great team, but I think their wide receivers will cause trouble for Miami secondary. Rodgers, I will just assume he's going to be playing. Even with one hand, he's going to be fine. Yeah, I got Pittsburgh winning that one. Cincinnati at home the following week.
I'll go with Miami being a home.
You got a win there. I am also going with Miami in a win. I No, they'll have their quarterback back in Joe Burrow. I know he's coming back, but I just think Miami, this is one of those games where they'll find a way. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how it's going to happen. I just think they will find a way at home against Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't stop anybody. This might be a game that ends up like 35-34 type of deal here. So I am going with Miami. Home against Tampa the following week, Tom.
It's a loss.
Yeah, I think that's a loss too. Because I think Tampa's going to need the game. Because the AFC South is getting close here. I think they're going to need the game, and I think they have a huge edge at quarterback. They have a huge edge at the offensive weapons. I just think they're just going to overwhelm Miami with what they have. So I will go with Tampa as well. Then week 18, this game's a little tricky because we don't know what the Patriots, they might have everything locked up. They might be resting guys. At the Patriots, week 18.
I will go Patriots because I don't think that Vrabel is going to sit anybody.
I think he'll sit guys, but I still think they'll win.
He may sit a few, but I don't think they'll have the 1 seed locked up.
That's even worse because if they've won the East by then, that means he's going to have a game in 6 or 7 days, and then he will sit more guys. If he's got the 1 seed, he might not sit guys till halftime because you don't want him to have that much time off. Either way, I think the Patriots are a way better team. So I'm just going with the Patriots. I think their second string is probably comparable with a lot of Miami guys who start. So you got them going 1, 2, 3, and 3. I got them going 2 and 4 the rest of the way. So you got them winning 7 games. I got them winning 6. And I think that's probably where it's going to end up if we're being honest with ourselves. I know there's some fans out there think they're going to run the table. God love you. I wish I was wired like you. I really do. My life would be so much happier. But I don't think they're going to run the table. I don't think they're going to get to like 8 or 9. I'm at 6. You're at 7. That's probably where they're going to finish, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah. So there's that. Matt Miller, ESPN draft guru, put out a mock draft today. Again, it's only November 19th. We know it's super, super early, but it's a bye week, folks. We need stuff to talk about. And Miami currently has the 11th pick in the draft. And he has Miami taking cornerback Jermad McCoy from Tennessee, who is a very skilled corner. Now, he hasn't played this year because he tore his ACL. So if Chris Greer was their general manager, this is a shoo-in pick, a guy who's hurt coming off a major injury. But that, look, it's a mock in November. Who cares? It's not about the pick. Yep. My question to you, Tom, is quarterbacks off the table. We know that's a whole can of worms. Let's not even go down that road tonight. I don't have the energy. Going into next year, right now, this roster needs a lot of help.
Yep.
What are the 5 most important positions in your eyes? I got my 5. I want to see if my 5 match your 5. I'm not talking quarterback.
Okay. Corner is 1. Yep. Wide receiver is 2.
Yep.
Offensive guard is 3.
Okay, I didn't have that, but okay.
Safety is 4.
Okay, I got that.
And I will say defensive tackle is 5.
Correct. I just don't have offensive guard, and I'm going to tell you why, and I know fans are going to go nuts when they hear this. I agree, though, and in no special order, because it would, wherever they pick in round 1, whether it's pick 11, 15, 14, 12, wherever they end up, because they're going to probably win 6 or 7 games, so it won't be in the top 10. Wherever they end up picking, they could go any one of these spots. Obviously, we have to know if they make any moves in March. I doubt they're going to make many because of the salary cap situation. It's probably going to be a very quiet free agency period again. But they might sign somebody. I mean, these are the spots, though. And here's why I'm not putting offensive line in there. You got Patrick Paul's playing great. Jonas Avayanea, he ain't great, but you trade all those picks. You moved up to get him. You're going to pencil him in next year as someone who's going to start. There's that. At center, you got him locked in. And I don't think they're going to move on from Austin Jackson, although they should. I don't think they will. So there's 4. This team's running the ball well with Achane why would we prioritize offensive line? And I know some fans are going, oh my God, how can you not want to fix the offensive line? Does it need fixing? This guy's going to run for 1,400 yards this year. Tell me why this offensive line is bad. I think a lot of what people see with this offensive line, and I know this is going to open up a whole can of worms. I think they look not that great because the quarterback. I think he makes them sometimes look bad because he walks into sacks. I don't know if offensive line is this great need right now. Yes, it could be better. Every team's could be better. But I look at what we have at wide receiver, almost nothing. I look at what we have at cornerback, we have nothing. Safety, you got one guy. He might not even be here next year. And then up front on the line, you got Grant, Zach Sealer. Jordan Phillips is a backup at best. I mean, you ain't got nothing there. Those two spots on the line, end and tackle with cornerback, safety, wide receiver, I'm prioritizing all those spots before I take a guard or a center. That's just me as of today. It's November 19th. But, it's tough to say in one breath the offensive line stinks when Achane's having a career year. Like, the math ain't mathing, in my opinion. And it's not like our quarterback doesn't have time to throw. He's got time. He just throws it to the wrong team too often. So I think the offensive line's got a little bit of a bad rap. And I think when everyone's healthy, once again, back James next year, he'll be at the other guard spot if he's healthy, James Daniels. You got him. So it's like, if I'm in round one, yeah, I'll take a corner. I'll take a safety. Next year, Chubb won't be here. I got Chop Robinson and damn near nothing else at edge rusher now. I'll take an edge rusher. I'm not looking for offensive linemen. Early, at least. Because we run the ball fine. And I know sometimes you got to play 6. Well, get a tight end who can block, and then you don't have to play 6. Or just keep playing 6 at least. I don't care. But I don't think offensive line is great need that some fans think it is. Am I nuts in thinking this time? And you can tell me if I'm nuts. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
I think you're nuts. I don't think they're going to take them. I don't think they're going to take one in the first 2 rounds. But at the same time, it's the depth. It is depth that is the biggest problem on this team. Yes, Achane's running the ball great, but that was a schemed change from Mike McDaniel, which bravo, he finally changed something, and it is working phenomenally. Devon Achane, like you said, he's on pace. He's already got 900 yards,
something like that.
He's having a hell of a season. He's still got six games left on the docket. He's going to end with 1,300 at least, just on the ground. And we don't even want to talk about what he's probably going to have from a reception perspective with the yards. He's going to be close to 2,000, I think, total yards. So, yeah, a tip of the hat to the offensive line. I still think there's some problems with pass protection at times. Yes, some of it is on the quarterback. 100% he's walking into sacks. But there are other moments where the ball's snapped and there's a guy blowing up Jonas Anavea or what's his face on the other side? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Cole Strange.
Yep, Cole Strange. It's nothing to write home about. Yes, James Daniels will be back, but right now that's what we're working with. And from a ground game, yes, but the pass game's not humming. A lot of that also has to do with Tyreek Hill not being involved. So, yeah, there's a lot that they have to address. You could go a variety of ways.
Well, they really can't go wrong. I mean, yeah, they can pick tight end around one, and it wouldn't be wrong.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
This roster is so bad. They really can't go wrong. But, again, they have no secondary at all. And I would make the case you can probably get by one more year with pretty much the same offensive line, one healthy. You can get by with – and, I mean, I'm not going to take a guy in round 1 who ain't going to come in and start right away. When I have no corners, no safety.
No, definitely not. No. So it's like offensive line is off the table in round 1.
It's not off. It's off the table.
To me, it's off the table because
it's not off the table unless they cut Austin Jackson. If they cut Austin Jackson, you can take an offensive tackle in round 1. Then it's fine. I would love to cut Austin Jackson. I would be happy as hell. Then you can take an offensive tackle in round 1. By all means, you probably should. But that's the only way. If these guys are all going to be back, it's tough to make a case when you look at the rest of this roster and you have holes on the first string everywhere. I know the offensive line is not the strongest part of this team. I know it's not great, but when everyone's quote unquote healthy, which I know is rare, But even when they're not, they're still running the ball to this clip. So I just wanted to mention that because I was looking at this, and this particular corner, Matt Miller had him taken. He's had some injuries. He hadn't played this year, which I get. Maybe not him. But the thought process of taking someone for the secondary, taking a corner, that ain't wrong. Maybe that guy might be wrong per se, but the overall thought process of taking someone in the secondary ain't wrong. Because I know fans every year, and we're going to see it again this year, when we get closer to the draft, just use the first 5 picks in offensive line. It's not realistic, especially on a roster that has no edge rushers. And here's the thing, too, at edge rusher. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Chop Robinson hasn't been good this year, folks. He hasn't been good this year. I don't know if he's a surefire guy that you can put out there as your top edge rusher. I don't know. He's shown nothing this year. Nothing. And you're not going to have next year Chubb. You're not going to have Matthew Judon. They're not going to re-sign Jalen Phillips. He ain't coming back. So it's like you might need to look somewhere else in round 1 here to fill some of these holes. And we'll see. Long ways away.
Look, it depending on how things shake out, who's going to be in the draft. There is a lot that has to happen between now and April. But for me, it's, depending on where, how many quarterbacks are going to be in the draft, what moves are going to be made in that top 5, and depending on where Miami's drafting. If Miami's in position to get a guy like Ruben Bain, for instance, hello.
They're going to have to be top 5 for that, or top 6 or 7.
Probably. So, and
because Matt Miller's got him. Here's the deal. Matt Miller's got Ruben Bain going 7th, but he's also got 3 quarterbacks in round 1. And we've heard the rumors that Moore and Simpson might go back. So if they go back to school, Ruben Bain ain't going 7th. He's going 5th probably, or somewhere higher than 7th.
At worst, but I think he's the first non-quarterback taken, in my opinion, in the draft.
No, well, I think the linebacker from Ohio State will be.
You can flip a coin.
I've seen him go 1.
I've watched a lot of Ruben Bain football.
I know. Well,
Jason
got.
Taylor has done a phenomenal job. When you watch Ruben Bain, you see a lot of Jason Taylor-esque technique being used by Ruben Bain. Kid's a beast. I would be shocked if he's not top 2, but at the same time, it just depends on how many quarterbacks are actually going to be in the draft this year outside of Fernando Mendoza. And if it's just Mendoza, then it's a battle at the top. Does Tyler show enough for the Saints to keep him as a second-round pick from this past draft? Is it Jets picking at 1? If that's the case, then they're 100% taking Mendoza. We'll see. We got so much time in between. But
here's who he's got. Hold on. Let me go through this draft. He's got the Titans with the first pick, but the Jets trading up to number 1 to take Mendoza. He's got the Giants with pick 2, but he's got Cleveland with pick 3, trading up with the Giants to take Moore from Oregon. The Giants at 3, he has taken the offensive tackle from Miami, Francis Mugaya. I don't know how to pronounce that right now. He's got the Titans at 4, which was the spot for the Jets, taking wide receiver Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. The Raiders at 5, taking quarterback Ty Simpson out of Alabama. The Saints at 6 probably get the steal of their draft, and Arvell Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State, who I've seen a lot of mock drafts when the Titans are 1, taking this guy because he is probably the best player in the draft. Takeaway positions. 7, Washington, Ruben Bain, edge from Miami. Cincinnati 8, taking Keldrick Falk, the edge from Auburn. 9 is the Arizona Cardinals, taking safety Caleb Downs. The Rams own the pick for Atlanta at 10, taking offensive tackle Spencer Fano, and that's the lowest I've seen him going. I've seen him go top 5 on most mocks. Again, I know it's November, but some of these guys, you kind of know they're locked into where they're locked in right now. And then he has Miami at 11, taking Jermod McCoy. Actually, if I'm Miami, if say some magic world have fell this way, the pick after Miami is Minnesota, and this is the guy I'd rather take. Peter Woods, defensive tackle from Clemson. That's a big boy who is nasty. I'd rather have him in the middle of my defense. But so that's Matt Miller.
Him with Kenneth Grant would be a very nice combination.
With Zach Sealer up there, that's a front 3 right there. I'd be very, very happy with. Again, I don't know what the scheme's going to be. I don't know who the head coach is going to be. But some of this stuff, I just want the best player, and I'm sure. And with some of these guys, they work in any scheme. It don't matter. It don't matter what the scheme is. They are scheme proof.
That should be the mindset of whoever the general manager is going to be. Is you take best player available. When you're drafting based on need, you already lost, right? And that's what the Dolphins did last year. 100% should have taken Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
100% should have taken Tyler Warren, but they drafted on need. They didn't have any interior defensive linemen. Kenneth Grant, I wouldn't say he was a big reach. I mean, a lot of mock drafts had him going in the late teens, early 20s. But Tyler Warren is a monster. And think of that, think of having a guy like Tyler Warren in this system would be life-changing for Mike McDaniel, but they decided to go defense because that's really where they needed to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you let go of all your linemen and then you wait and you do nothing in March, you do nothing in April, and it's time for the draft. You're kind of pigeonholed in that, I got to use 3 of my picks on defensive linemen because I got one guy on my defensive line in Zach Sealer and nobody else right now. So I got to pick them. And that's why that's how you go 25 years without winning a playoff game. And thank God Chris Greer's fired and we'll never, hopefully, I shouldn't say that. Because who knows who the next guy is going to be? He might be worse, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. I mean, if he's worse, then we really are freaking cursed at this point. I mean, good Lord, we really are dumb. But yeah, that's how you get in that type of situation.
For sure.
I put this out late in the day, and I only put it out on the people who are signed up for Dolphins Talk Extra. I didn't put it out for everybody, but I put out a mailbag if anyone has any questions, and we did get a mailbag, so let's play the jingle.
Here comes
the Dolphins Talk
mailbag. Got your email, faxes, and your notes. Here comes
the Dolphins Talk
mailbag. Gonna read some for all you folks.
All right, and if you do have any questions tonight, again, super chats are open, and if you put some up in the chat, if we have time, maybe we will read them. This comes from Fish Pilot, a Dolphins Talk Extra member. And again, Dolphins Talk Extra, $3 a month. Go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. We have extra podcasts, bonus podcasts. We have a private message board, contest where we give away prizes. We have fun shows, watch-alongs. We have interactive shows where you can jump on a podcast with myself, Tom, Josh, Eric, and talk and join us. Sign up, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. Here's the question from Fish Pilot. This is a great question. If Ross does wind up running Mike McDaniel and Champ Kelly back next season, how long, in your opinions, would it take for the fan base to turn on the team? I will answer this question. The moment it's announced, the fan base will turn on the team. It will take literally less than 1 second.
Yeah, I think so, because you're just running it back, right? And you have in-house candidate that you're going to keep because you want to keep the head coach. You don't want to move on from the quarterback for probably a couple of reasons, but number one is probably the moolah. Yeah, I think it would be pretty quick, and especially if with the salary cap being as bad as it is, I would have the assumption because they won't be making many moves, the fans are going to be pissed off about that. So whoever the next general manager is, if it's someone in-house, they know what they're working with. But if they bring in a fresh face, someone from outside the organization that's going to make these changes, then, I think the fan base will give a reprieve if that's an outside hire. But if it's an inside hire and everyone's staying, yeah, the fan base is going to turn pretty damn quick.
Yeah, if they're both gone, the key word is both. Head coach is gone, general managers are going to get 2 new people next year. The fan base is smart enough, this is a smart fan base, is smart enough to understand next year is a honeymoon period. They're inheriting a mess. And every fan will be like, we understand, clean up the cap next year. Don't go crazy in March spending money. Pick guys smart in the draft. You got a pick in round 1, a pick in round 2, 3 picks in round 3. Be smart with your picks. Build the roster. Then 2027 is when you really start to expect something. Maybe not, win the East, but at least, be 500, be above 500. Like the fan base is smart enough to understand if they get rid of both the head coach and GM, next year is a honeymoon period. What will drive the fan base nuts is if they just hire a new GM, not even Champ Kelly, someone else. Because I don't think Champ's got a snowball chance in hell of getting this job. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's getting it. They hire a GM and he's forced to have Mike McDaniel for a year. Because we know how this is going to end. Mike McDaniel wins 6 or 7 games next year, which again, that's going to push out of the top of the draft, middle of round 1. He's going to lose his job. And then this new GM who just wasted a first, a second, and 3 third-round picks drafting guys to fit Mike McDaniel's scheme is going to have to find a head coach, and all the guys you just took might not even fit what we're trying to do now with the new head coach. It's just purgatory, hell, and it makes no friggin' sense. And that's going to drive the fan base, who's a smart fan base, nuts. And the fans who don't understand that are going to listen to shows like ours and others who's going to have people explain to them, you're wasting this year's draft. If you let's just give them one more year. What do you got to lose? Well, you're wasting this year's draft because we're going to draft speed wide receivers. We're going to draft offensive linemen who fit what Mike McDaniel wants to do. And then when Mike McDaniel's gone in here and you got a guy who wants tall wide receivers who are more physical, offensive linemen who maybe are slow, but they're 300 and something pounds, just want to run over it. We don't have those guys. So it makes every pick this year move. So it's like you got to do it both at the same time. And if they do it both at the same time, this fan base will be very, very happy, very, very understanding next year with a wink and a nod. And we might go 4-13, we might go 5-12. It's okay. It's year 1. We got these 2 new guys in place. But if they do a half measure, this has nothing to do with the quarterback. This has nothing to do with the quarterback. He can stay, he can go. I don't give a shit because I know eventually he's going to be gone. If they do the half measure, this is years and years of mediocrity coming up, which leads to our next topic, Tom. Barry Jackson, the Miami Herald. I love Barry Jackson. Smart guy, does great reporting for the Herald. Everyone should follow Barry Jackson. Sign up for a Miami Herald subscription if you want. Great. So I want to preface it by that. I don't know if it was Sunday night. It was Sunday night, I think, after the game. He put up a tweet. And I understand where he's coming from. Don't necessarily know if I agree. And I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not going to read the tweet exactly because it's a very long tweet. Saying, should fans of the Dolphins just accept that this organization is just always going to be mediocre? It's never going to be great. So you can root for the team to lose. So Mike McDaniel gets fired and you get a high pick. It ain't going to matter because they have proven year over year, decade over decade. Even if they fire McDaniel, they're going to hire whoever they hire next will be wrong. Whoever they make the next general manager will be wrong. And we're going to be back in this cycle in 4 or 5 years that we're always going to be bad because that's just who we are. And he compared it to owning a dumb dog. Great analogy, Barry. Love the analogy. Because he goes, if you have a dumb dog, you just love your dog. You smile when it does something, fun every now and then. But you understand your dog is dumb. And there's nothing. It's just a dumb dog. So just love your dog and just be happy when they win. So don't root for them to lose. Just be happy that you might get 6 or 7 wins a year, most years. And just accept that this is a losing organization, that will always be a losing organization. And essentially he's saying just accept that the Miami Dolphins are like the NFL's version of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Essentially what he's saying. Just no hope, no chance, just is what it is. I understand that mindset because the evidence is that. My point is this. Tell me if I'm wrong, Tom. As a fan, if I own a dog that's dumb, I'm going to feed the dog. I'm going to walk the dog. I'm going to take that dog to the vet. I'm going to love the dog. And because it's a living creature. And yeah, it might always be dumb. And it's, I'm going to throw it something to go play fetch. And it's going to be so stupid, it's going to look at it. It ain't even going to run after and get fetch, But with a sports team, I ain't going to invest the time, the money, or anything. Because unlike it being a living creature, it's just a team. So I'm not going to buy the tickets. I'm not going to watch the games. And I'm damn sure, I hate to say this because they do great work. Why would I spend money and buy a Miami Herald subscription at that point? Because I'm not going to invest anything in this team if it's a dumb dog. So I understand what he's saying, Barry, and he might not be wrong. We might suck forever. But I'm not going to compare it to being a dumb dog. I think when your team is down when your franchise is down, like we're down right now, and we've been down forever, a good fan stands up, voices his displeasure, and says, I'm mad as hell. We ain't going to take it no more. And you assholes better make changes or else you are going to lose me as a fan. So I don't think we should accept and just lay down that we're always going to be bad. I think we got to stand up and voice our displeasure. It's like with your country. If you don't like the people, and this is not either political party, if you don't like the party in power, you don't just sit back and accept it. You go out and vote. You try to support your side that you want to see. You stand up and fight. And as a fan, I'm not going to sit back and accept it. I got a dumb dog as a franchise. I'm going to stand up and fight and say I'm mad as hell, and you better make some changes, or you ain't get my time, you ain't get my money anymore. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. I think as fans of the team, perpetually for 25 years, all we have is hope. All we've hoped for is the team to turn it around, win a playoff game, win the AFC East, be competitive, make the playoffs, win some games, give us a shot. But we just haven't seen it, right? We've had moments, we've had years where, the team was good, but then they fell flat on their face when it mattered the most, regular season and postseason. But it's the same thing over and over again. It's half measures, never full on rebuilds, right? 2019, we consider it was a full on rebuild, but it was Chris Greer that was fully in charge, and he was in charge in 2016. So again, half measure. They got to rip the Band-Aid off. They got to do the right things. And where it hurts the most is in the owner's pockets, right? I had a neighbor who is a Bills fan who went down to that game in Miami. He said, buddy, it was 50-50 Bills fans and Dolphins fans. It was half and half. And I 100% believe it because that's what I heard on television. And now I'm hearing it from someone that was physically at the game. That hurts, hearing an opposing fan base take over your stadium and be loud on third down and boo when the home team scores a touchdown. Folks, if you really, again, want to force the change, it starts by not feeding the pocket. That's
Saints
all it
game's
is.
going to be empty too. There's no one going to be at that Saints game. I don't care that they won a couple in a row. The Saints game, it's after a holiday. Who the hell's going to go to Hard Rock Stadium on a Sunday and watch the Dolphins and the Saints? That stadium's going to be half empty.
Yep. Even though the tickets already may be sold because there is waiting lists for the season tickets and things like that. So technically, Saints are sold. But you're going to see a lot of empty seats. And you're going to hear boos when the team does bad, go 3 and out, an interception, a fumble, missed field goal. You're going to hear it. That's all we've heard from home games this season is the smattering of boos coming from the home fan base.
Yeah, and in some games, like the game versus the Ravens, it was more than a smattering. It was pretty much for 4 quarters, nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
It was the soundtrack of the game. But this whole notion that just accept that they're bad and that they're never going to be good. I'm sorry. I'm not going to eat the shit sandwich that they serve me year after year forever. I think if you're a fan, like for some fans, they will eat the shit sandwich and they'll smile because they don't want to ever say anything negative about their team. They don't want to ever hear anything about their team that's negative. And no matter what the team does, they're just going to show up because I'm a fan of which is great. We're all fans of the team. Look at the room Tom's sitting in. If you're watching on YouTube, look at the room I'm sitting in. We're fans of the team. You can be fans of the team and still be critical. You can be fans of the team and want more, expect more, strive for more, and voice your displeasure when the organization continuously, stumbles over its own 2 feet year after year, decade after decade, saying, guys, get your shit together. Because I'm not saying, I'm not going to be a fan, but our trips to Florida could, Tom, we might have. What's the point? Like, yes, it's a nice vacation to Florida, but we don't have to go to the game. You know what I mean? We can just go to Florida and have a grand old time any day of the week. We don't have to go to the game. We could, I can just watch games on Sundays at home. I don't need, it's like there's levels to being a fan. And if they're not going to try, then why should I try as a fan? And I think a lot of fans are going to start to feel that way, especially if they bring back McDaniel and Greer. Fans, I hear the people use the word tank. and they use it wrong 99% of the time. Well, I don't want to see them tank. They're not tanking. They're not tanking. You know why they're not tanking? Because first off, players don't tank. So this whole notion, people say tank. Well, they're not going to tank. Of course they're not going to tank. The players are never going to tank. The organizations can tank. Look at the Jets. You trade away every quality player you have, and then you tell them who's ever left, go out there and win. Well, they can't. They can't. Because they're just not good enough. That's what tanking is. It's not players not trying or the head coach not trying. It's an organizational call. And Miami's not tanking because it's a trade deadline. They only traded one freaking guy. If they were tanking, they would have traded Chubb. They would have traded Waddle. They would have traded a few of these guys. They're not tanking. So I don't want to hear the word tank. This has nothing to do with tank. This has to do with watching these games on Sunday. And outside of the one game versus the Bills, maybe the game versus Atlanta, but they had a bunch of guys hurt Atlanta. Miami just makes the same friggin' mistakes game after game. And you might get lucky against Washington's second-string quarterback without their star wide receiver, without their star line, and you might actually win. But, again, these fans are smart, and they know, maybe versus the Saints you can win. Maybe versus the Jets you'll be able to win. When you play good teams on a consistent basis, you're not going to win. And we don't. We never beat good teams outside of this year versus the Bills. You got one good win in like 3 years. I mean, I wouldn't be bragging about it too much. So fans have every right to be mad, and they don't have to accept the losing. They don't. And, don't be told you should just be happy with these meaningless wins because, you're a miserable person if you root against your team. No, you're not. You're a good fan who wants more. And that's okay to want more.
Yeah, I agree. There's no like guide to how to fan, right? You fan how you want to fan, and that's your prerogative, right?
If you want to lose so Mike McDaniel gets fired so you have hope, and that's all you're hoping for as a fan. You hope for hope. You want hope. Yeah, hope that the next guy will be better and maybe will take us somewhere. He might be worse. I understand that. He might be worse. But I know Mike McDaniel ain't leading us anywhere, folks. Okay, I know he ain't. He stinks on toast. I know he ain't leading us nowhere. And, for a general manager, everyone, Champ Kelly's got to stay. What the bleep has Champ Kelly done? Most people don't know Champ Kelly's resume, don't know the first thing about Champ Kelly. He just happened to be a guy who was here, who, mind you, Chris Greer brought here. Let me say that again, because I had people push back on me on social media. Chris Greer brought here to fill a role once Reggie McKenzie left. Okay? Why did Reggie McKenzie leave? Because he didn't want to be part of this sinking ship. So he went to Tennessee. Okay, we have an opening. Champ Kelly, come on down. So Champ Kelly's just happenstance that he's in this role. And I don't know if he's qualified for it. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But, if the Raiders didn't hire you as GM, if you're a Dolphins fan saying you want their sloppy seconds, time to reevaluate your life. That's all I'm going to say. All right, here's how we're going to wrap up this show. We're going to do something fun because there's no game this week. We've got nothing to preview. Now, I get asked a lot, why should I sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra? What do you guys do? And we do a lot of stuff there about the Dolphins on top of what you get here for free. But we also do fun stuff. We do real fun stuff. And sometimes around the holidays, we hold like fun drafts. And this year, Tom and myself, it's the holiday season. It's getting near. Next week is going to be Turkey Day. And then after that, you're in the Christmas season with the Christmas shopping, and Tom's going to be out there dressed up like Santa, so and all that good stuff. But this is the time where you get into the holiday movies, and we're going to do a little draft, a little back and forth about our top 5 favorite holiday movies. So we did a coin toss. So here's this go. Tom's going to go first. He gets pick 1. Then I'm going to get picks 2 and 3. Then Tom get picks 4 and 5. And you know what? Maybe do more than 5. We're going to do it until we come to a stop. Pretty much. Now, here's one thing, and I'm putting this out there, and I know you won't agree, but I don't care. It's my site. I make the rules. Die Hard's not a fucking Christmas movie. Oh, sorry for swearing. Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. Christmas is just the backdrop of this action movie. That doesn't make it a Christmas movie. I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk about this. It's not a Christmas movie. It's just a movie that happens around Christmas. It has nothing to do with Christmas because there's a tree in the background and they're singing Jingle Bells at some point. That's an action movie. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. That is disqualified. Anyone who says that's kind of a jerk off, in my opinion. No offense, Tom. I know you don't agree. You're not a jerk off, but you understand what I'm saying. Die Hard doesn't count. That's off the list. Okay. You got pick 1. Who's your first pick?
Well, I was going to say Die Hard. No. No. With the first pick, it's Christmas Vacation.
National Lampoons.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Come on,
All
man.
right.
Shitter's full. That movie has so many classic lines. It is funny from start to finish. Chevy Chase in his prime. It's an elite Christmas movie.
I agree. That is on the list. And then in the part at the end where when they tell the old lady to say Grace died 10 years ago, and then she sings the national anthem. It's the best. There's so many great parts. Okay, my first pick is going to be Home Alone. Home Alone is iconic. Just the music alone in Home Alone makes you feel Christmassy. It's a great movie. Macaulay Culkin is the perfect kid for the perfect movie, the perfect young actor. Home Alone just screams Christmas to me. I'm going Home Alone with my first one. My second one is a holiday movie, but it's not a Christmas movie. As I'm writing it down. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Thanksgiving movie counts as a holiday movie on my list. If you're not crying by the end of that movie, when John Candy's sitting there telling him that his wife died like 6-7 years ago, whatever, he has no family, he just walks around life with this big trunk. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles stands the test of time. Most of it, not all, most was filled out by where you live in Rochester. Fun fact. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a great holiday movie, and you will be, if you have a heart in you, you will be crying by the end of it. Tom, you got 2 picks.
All right. So, since we're going holiday and holiday theme, there's no better, and I'm going to stick with Christmas on this one. There is no better Christmas movie to watch, not with your kids around, than Bad Santa.
Billy Bob's great.
Billy Bob Thornton is so freaking good in this movie.
The first one, not the second.
Okay, 100% the first one. Yeah. Second one is off the table. But it's the who's who of comics that were in this freaking movie. The late, great Bernie Mac. The late, great John Ritter. It was hilarious from start to finish, to the point where there's some moments where it's very hard to breathe while watching this movie. I
like the fat kid who keeps asking him if he wants a sandwich the whole movie. You want a sandwich?
I can make you some sandwiches.
That's the best.
It is so good. But it is also very heartwarming at the end, right? So it's just this dirty-ass movie, but it actually pulled it together at the end to give it like this little heartwarming finish. Obviously, the cops shooting him 10 times in the back and scaring all the kids because they shot.
Spoiler! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Come on, most people have already seen this movie.
I'm joking.
All right. So we're going to talk about holiday movies. This one is circled around the holidays. And I'm going to say it because you took Die Hard off the list, so I put this one in. Trading Places.
See, I will count it. To me, that's Dan
Aykroyd.
I will count it.
Eddie Murphy.
Since they took away Die Hard, I will count it. Thurman Merman. Someone in our chat. That was the kid's name. Thurman Merman. Yes. Yep. Good call there. Good call there in our chat. Yes, he was great, that kid.
And I can remember the quote Billy Bob Thornton said to him. What the fuck is your Thurman Merman?
I think the part was like half asleep, hungover. He gets asked for the 800th time if he wants a sandwich. He goes, "What, Christ, kid? What the hell is it with doing sandwiches?" It's the best. It's the best. All right, I got 2 here. Okay, these 2 are classics. Number 1, A Christmas Story. It's kind of been beaten to death because they replay it so goddamn much, but it's still like I can't watch it 10 times over Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I just can't. It's too much. But once a year, I'm good for it. A Christmas Story once a year is great. Now, they did make a sequel to this. People don't even know, a couple years ago. And they brought back Ralphie, same kid, same guy. And it was his family and everything. And his mom was like homesick or something. The sequel was awful. I mean, it was so bad. Like, people were asking for all these years they have to make a sequel. They finally make one. it stunk on toast. But A Christmas Story, the original one, I think it came out in 83, but it was set like in the 50s. It's just, if you grew up in the 1980s, that felt like a 1980s type Christmas. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. Even though it was set way back in the 50s. But that one is that. And here's the next one. Elf.
Absolutely.
Will Ferrell's arguably his best movie ever. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's his best movie ever. I'm going with Elf there. I mean, just the whole thing where he's this overgrown elf, not knowing Santa's not real, putting all the food, the spaghetti with the syrup and the candy. Elf is the pick. Okay, here's where we go. We got 5 each. No, you only got 3. Let's each do 2 more. Tom,
Okay.
you're up. 2 more.
All right. So we're going to start with an absolute Disney classic, The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Tim Allen's great.
That is such a fun movie, especially, being, when that movie came out and being, I think the movie's out like 93, 94,
Yeah,
10 or
roughly.
11 years old. Still had a little.
The first one, not the second and third. They always make these sequels that ruin it.
Yep.
The first
The
one's
first
the
one, fantastic. I loved the movie. The premise was hilarious. Him getting fat, starting at wintertime, like he just couldn't figure it out. That was a very funny movie. And with the final pick, it is still off the list, but this one's going to make it. The Grinch starring Jim Carrey.
That counts. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I think the Grinch is. I'm talking about this now like a football. He's kind of come on like the past 5 or 6 years where he's become a big thing. I know there was a shopping mall which is now closed by us where you could go meet Santa and sit on his lap, or 5 feet away you could go sit on the lap of the Grinch, and like he's become a big deal now around the holiday season. The Grinch. All right, my last 2. Miracle on 34th Street it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. I love
The original or remake?
The original, not the remix. I want the original. The original's great. The original's great. So that's going to be that one. And here's the last one. And this one is so off the board. It's a movie most people never saw, but when I tell you who's in it, Tom, you're going to search Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and try and find this movie and watch it. Maybe you've seen it, but I doubt it. Most people haven't. It's got a loaded cast, though. Trapped in Paradise with Dana Carvey, John Lovitz, Nicolas Cage. It's these 3 low-level thieves who just go around and rob and steal, and they break the law. They go to this town called Paradise where, they understand their wrong ways. They fall in love with the town. And it's like made in the 90s when these guys were like huge stars. Find the movie Trapped in Paradise. It is, and it's all around Christmas. It is the best movie. It's so freaking funny. And it's a movie almost no one's ever seen. Find it, folks. Trust me, Trapped in Paradise. That's going to be my Mr. Irrelevant movie. Because here's the deal. I can't do It's a Wonderful Life with George Bailey, Donna Reed, James. I can't. I've seen it a million times. It's just NBC. They play it to death every year. I can't do It's a Wonderful Life again. I understand James Stewart's great. Donna Reed's great. The whole thing. I just can't. I can't do it. So, yeah, that's our list. We got Christmas Vacation. So, Tom, you got Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa, Trading Places, The Santa Claus, The Grinch. I got Home Alone, Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Christmas Story, Elf, Miracle on 34th Street, and Trapped. And yeah, that's right. No one took Rudolph. Here's who wasn't taken. Rudolph,
Frosty.
both of the Charlie Browns. Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown Christmas. Frosty the Snowman. That's pretty much all the ones I had on my list. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting, but like all these have like sequels to them, but most of them stink. Rudolph is a UDFA. Is a UDFA, undrafted free agent. Rudolph, you can go sign him right now. All right, let's do some picks here. I had a good week last week. 2-0-1, had a push. You were 1-2, so I made up a little ground last week. So I'm going to go with my first 2 picks here as we end the show. Give me the Bills Thursday night -6 at Houston. Houston's got nothing left. They're all hurt. I think the Bills. I'm not in love with the Bills, but I think they're going to win at Houston, and it's only 6 points. Give me the Bills -6 over Houston. Then give me the Ravens, and that's a big number, 13.5 over the Jets. I think the Jets on the road are in big, big trouble. They made a quarterback change. I don't know who's healthy for the Jets this week. I think the Ravens are going to go on their run now, and I think they're going to lay a thumping like they did versus Miami. Well, now they're home versus the Jets. I think they're going to beat the living hell out of the Jets, and I'll lay the 2 touchdowns. So Bills, Ravens, my 2 locks. Tommy, who are your locks?
First lock is Lions -10.5 at home versus the Giants. They are seething from their embarrassing loss against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday night, and the Giants are the perfect team coming to their house the week of Thanksgiving. The Lions are going to put a beating on the Giants.
Giants are a mess right now too. With Abdul Carter falling asleep, the whole thing, they're a mess.
It's a disaster, but that they got rid of the head coach because he was the problem. So, yep, Lions -10.5. And speaking of teams that are embarrassed, give me the Chiefs -3.5 at home against the Colts. We saw what Daniel Jones looked like going to Pittsburgh. He's going to look worse going to Kansas City on a team that is fighting for its life. That's right. The Chiefs are fighting for their life. And I think they put a beating on the Colts. More than 3.5. I think they win by 4.
I agree. I was looking at the Chiefs' schedule. They can only afford 1 more loss. How crazy is that? If they lose 2 more games, there's a chance they're not making the playoffs. They can only, out of their last 6, let me call them up, because I was looking at this today. Because I was thinking of putting a few bucks on them winning the AFC.
They don't have the tiebreaker. They lose tiebreaker to the Bills, and they lose tiebreaker to the Jets.
That's why they can only lose 1 more. So here's what they got. They're home against the Colts. Oh, okay. They're home against the Colts. I thought they were at the Colts. Yeah, home against the Colts. Then they're at the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I think that's a win. Then they're home against Houston. That's a win. Then they're home against the Chargers. They got 3 of the next 4 at home. Then they're home against the Chargers. I think because the Chargers have so many issues on their offensive line, I think that should be a win. Then they travel to the Titans. That's a win. Then they got the Broncos at home, and then they end at the Raiders. Now, at the Raiders might treat that like their Super Bowl. That might not be just like that might not be a walk in the park. Home against the Broncos on Christmas Day, 8:15 on Amazon Prime. Oh, that's a good Christmas night. That's a good game. Screw these Christmas movies. Christmas night, we got Chiefs Broncos on Amazon Prime at Arrowhead. Oh boy, that's a doozy. But that's why the Chiefs can't lose this week versus the Colts, because if they lose this week, that means they pretty much got to run the table. And yeah, they got the Titans and the Chargers and Houston in there. But at the Cowboys offense can move the ball at times. That could be tricky. Raiders game on the road, they sometimes have their number. And then they got to host the Broncos. They really got to win this week versus the Colts. But I'm with you. I think they will. I thought that game was at Indianapolis, but it's in KC. So they should win. Who's your upset?
My upset.
First, let me give you my upset.
Yep.
And this ain't about them. It's about the team they're playing. Give me the Titans plus 13.5 at home over Seattle. This has nothing to do with the Titans. This has everything to do with Seattle. I think they'll win Seattle. They ain't winning by 2 touchdowns on the road versus anybody. Give me the Titans plus 13.5.
All right. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 7.5 at home. Yeah, I know Jamar Chase isn't playing, but it sure looks like Joe Burrow is going to be back. So there's a little fire. And, if they lose, I think they lose by a touchdown at home. So that extra half point's beautiful. So give me the Bengals plus 7.5.
Over New England.
Yep.
All right. So we'll see. Let me save this so I have it for next week. I keep track here. All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're getting to the point here where when you start looking at things, how it's shaping up. And I know on some of the graphics, they have the Miami Dolphins in the hunt. And God love them. They should, I guess. I don't know. Every year. But here's what I'm going to say. If you look at the standings for the whole AFC, the Tennessee Titans have 8 losses inside the AFC. The next 2 teams with the most losses is Miami and Cleveland with 6. Toss out Cleveland. They're not obviously going to make the playoffs. But if Miami by some miracle even runs the table, they're not going to hold tiebreakers over anybody because they have 6 conference losses, which is going to be tough to break a lot of these ties against these other teams. And you need a lot of other teams like Jacksonville to have a total collapse. You need a team like the Chiefs almost to have a total collapse. You need a lot of teams, not just one or two, a lot to have a total collapse, because you're not going to be able to win a tiebreaker over most because you have so many conference losses right now. So even if Miami were to lose one, it better not be versus a team inside the AFC. But I think that's all we play. Wait, let me look at this. No, because we got Tampa.
Tampa and the Saints are left, so 4 games in the AFC.
It's like that's why even if Miami runs a table, there's a chance they'll make it. And I guess it's possible, but the tiebreaker thing's really going to hurt them. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's what you got to look at, the conference losses right there, because you're going to have 2 teams in the East already going. You're already going to have the Patriots and Bills. You pretty much need teams out in the North. You got to hope Pittsburgh falls off a ledge and that the Ravens win the North, because then you would beat Pittsburgh along the way and sort of knock them down even further. And then you get one team out of the North. You get one team out of the South. You got to hope Jacksonville totally falls apart. And then out West, you got to hope that somebody like the Chiefs just crumbles. So, that's it. Again, we'll talk about that stuff as it gets closer. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. But, all right, this is supposed to be a short show, and we went for an hour. Everyone, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow Tom on social media at DolphinsTalk Tom. Follow myself at Dolphins Talk. Dolphins Talk Extra, patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. Tomorrow night, Josh, Aaron, and myself are going to do a live show after their live show exclusively for Dolphins Talk Extra members. If you liked what we did tonight, you're probably going to love what we do tomorrow. That's all I'm going to tell you. So check out that. Everyone, have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you later. And don't forget, we must put an end to highway profanity.
Ends up.